Shalom, everybody. Welcome to the Neutral Zone. We're doing a special edition here. I'm back with Obsidian just to do a follow up on our previous conversation and get his take on some of the latest things going on in the so called red pill space. And I first wanted to talk about, and I did send him the link, a comment from one of your favorite people, and maybe he's a fan. Big JX. Big J says that he had a
Oh
problem with
God! I
me.
mean, I've been off YouTube for like almost a year, and he's still talking about me. What the hell?
He had a problem with me having a conversation with you because he said that you are part of a hate group, and some people like him are trying to fight that hate group, and that group being the Manosphere. That the Manosphere at large is a hate group. And I don't know if it's made it onto the ACLU's website as a hate group. I meant to check and see, but or is it even categorized that way? Because I think when you say the manosphere, just based on my knowledge of it, that is such a broad term, and it can cover so much thing, so many different categories that it could be positive or it could be negative. I would, for one, would not be one to say that everybody in that space had were doing negative things. So when you hear that he considers you to be part of a hate group, what's your answer to that?
Oh, jeez. I say that Big J needs to get a life. Seriously, yeah, get a life, man. First of all, he needs to get laid. That's the first thing he needs to do. He needs to get laid. He's very angry, and if I wasn't getting laid like him, I would be very angry too. So that would be my
Obsidian,
first.
that's really dismissive. But you don't think that people at large or in the community, based on their observations and some of the content that they see, that people saying the manosphere is a hate group, are you saying
Absolutely
that
not.
there's no? Is
Absolutely
there?
not.
Do
And
you think?
that's confirmed by the elections. The election was a manosphere election.
You
It's
believe
not a
that was
hate
a
group.
manosphere election?
Absolutely. Look at what Donald Trump. I mean, it's in the Wall Street Journal. His youngest son, Barron Trump, was the one that turned him on to Joe Rogan and the Manosphere, and look at the result. So it's a Manosphere election. So we're not a hate group. We're going to save America. We're going to make America great again.
Okay, so that is an interesting perspective to me because I will tell you I'd never thought of until I that NPR segment that you sent me, and then just our conversation. I had never considered Joe Rogan a part of the Manosphere. I never heard him claiming Manosphere or identifying as part of being part of the Manosphere. Have you? I watched. I
I
haven't
don't I
watched
don't
it.
I don't watch I don't watch him that heavily, so I couldn't say.
Yeah, I don't either. I
But I,
watched
but,
like
but,
when he had
but
Baby
I welcome
Tigers.
him with open arms, though.
I'm sure you would.
I sure do.
Now, but saying this though, if Joe Rogan is part of the manosphere, he would be part of the larger manosphere, the manosphere at large, and what you all call the white manosphere. He wouldn't be part of the Negro manosphere. So the question is, would he and his audience accept you, even if you would accept him with open arms?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, he doesn't necessarily have to accept me per se.
Well, I'm
Um,
not saying you in general. I'm talking about that space, though, like that manosphere at large, because isn't that one of the issues that men in the larger or broader manosphere dealt with? Black men like Donovan Sharp, a lot of the racism that exists in that space. I've seen clips, as a matter of fact, that O'Shea has shown of people like Myron going into those spaces and basically getting dragged by Caucasian host.
I haven't dealt with any racism personally ever in the white manosphere. I've never dealt with it. Matter of fact, they've been nothing but very kind to me. If anything, I faced more opposition from black folk.
Hmm.
If anything, so that will be my take on that.
Obsidian, I think you're being a bit like, so you can say that you personally have never experienced racism in the manosphere. Is it because maybe your interactions were pretty limited? Were you on a circuit more so like Donovan Sharp or Myron for that? matter, mixing it up with those guys and going to those spaces, or were you just kind of more of a writer in your experience? So that would make it kind of isolated, right?
Well, no, actually, I got my start in the white manosphere. You want
Hmm.
to talk about writing? I started out as a blogger, as a writer. I transitioned over to podcasting um after I got started in 2009. I started podcasting in 2015. So
Okay.
um yeah, I didn't, I wasn't somebody that just started off podcasting. I was a writer first. Now I've been writing for a good long minute. So writing for like 6 years before I went over to that. Then after that I podcasted for another 6 years before I wrote my first book. So yeah, I've been nothing. I've had nothing but positive interactions with.
Okay. So, but are you really trying to argue that because I even heard of O'Shea speak about racism in the white manosphere, and it just seems to me that you don't want to acknowledge the existence of it in that space. Because
The
I
existence of
mean,
racism?
you've never seen Donovan dealing with racism and being called the N word, and Myron even being called a sand N word in the middle of interacting with these guys.
Well, I haven't. Again, I don't follow them very closely, so I take your word for it. I'm just telling you my personal experience. I've never
Hmm.
had any. I've never had any problems. Never have.
But so, based on what we see, the what is being reported as a rise in hate groups, being a Trump supporter yourself, how do you? I mean, like, because it just seems to me like there is for lack of just blatantly for black men in the manosphere who have basically attach themselves to Trump. It's like you all have a denial of the rise of hate groups, a denial of the anti-black rhetoric and behavior that is displayed by a lot of Trump supporters. And if you do acknowledge it, how do you parse that out or balance it like you're doing in your support of Trump?
Well, what I would say to that is, my thinking is that there are always going to be racist elements in American
Mhm.
life, but thank God they are the minority. They're not the majority, and rightly so. And just because you have some, knuckleheads, John Rocker, David Duke type knuckleheads out there that like Donald Trump, that doesn't make him a racist. That doesn't mean that the MAGA movement is racist. Doesn't mean that black Republican Trump supporters like me are coons or sellouts. It just means
Mhm.
that, the America is a big place. Racists vote too, and they can like the
Mhm.
same candidates that you like. Look, the Democrat Party has been is the party of the Klan, is the party of slavery, is the party of the Dixiecrats, and that doesn't stop black folks from voting for them. So
Well, you know that most people are going to make the argument that that transition during the 60s and the civil rights legislation, and that after that, the Democratic Party has kind of like the racists kind of migrated over to the Republican Party. You know, we saw that with Reagan. You know, that I think the lines were kind of blurred because for me, I do still like personally, I don't support either party. I'll say that, and I think that things haven't changed in either party as much as people think that they have. I think the status quo is still exists. I don't think there's been a real significant shift in the way black people are viewed in this country because if it was, we would see it systemically, and that's not the case. I feel like but for me, just like so, I think a lot of these conversations they are surface level because the support tends to be surface level. And so for me, asking you about your support of Trump, if it's not surface level, how do you think that in just 4 years, because he's only going to have 4 years, how is Trump going to benefit and serve you or your community as a whole?
I think the best way he can serve me and my community is by staying as far away from it as possible. I think that's part of the problem now is that the black community has been meddled with too much. And there needs to be some non-intervention and create space for black folks to work out their own problems.
What does that mean, Obsidian? What does that look like? Because that just sounds like a talking point. Like in practice, what does that look like? Like, give me a policy that would embody what you're asking for.
Well, I mean, there is none. That's what I'm saying. It's the absence of it. I think that there have been
Well, what would you
too
want to
much
see
business.
policy wise? Would
I don't
be
want to
the
see anything
withdrawal?
policy wise. I want them to stay out of it. You can bring down taxes overall. That would be very helpful. We can bring down. We can get rid of red tape. You know, nanny stateism. We can get rid of that. That would be very helpful. But
Nanny statism. What does that mean?
too much government intervention.
In what?
Everything.
Give me an example. Be specific.
Well, for one example would be with regard to abortion. Now, I think Trump was brilliant in getting in Supreme Court justices who would overturn Roe v. Wade, return it to the states, let each state work it out.
Well, but that's not what's happening. This is Trump said that he would make sure that abortion was banned, that he was going to end the practice of abortion. He's not coming at abortion from a hands-off perspective. He's coming from it.
That's not what he
He
said.
did. He is okay. Let's play a clip of what Trump said about abortion because he doesn't have a hands-off approach to abortion.
He's made it very clear that he's about returning it to the states and letting the states decide.
I am not an
And
abortion supporter.
I think that's the appropriate approach. Under Roe v. Wade, black women have gotten something like 20 million abortions. They've been the number one killer of black people, not the Klan, not the Ku Klux Klan, not David Duke, not John Rocker, not the skinheads, not white supremacy, whatever that is, the boogeyman, not gun violence, not gang bangers, but the number one killer of black people have been black women aided and assisted by the United States Supreme Court with Roe v. Wade. And so with that being overturned, we can put a collar on that.
Well, but it wasn't the whole point of him putting in judges that would help overturn Roe v. Wade. That was his promise, and he fulfilled it. That
Yes,
he would help
and
do that.
returned it and returned it to the state.
Okay, so, but I think that so my beliefs, I'm not for abortion. I do not support abortion, but just in the context of what you were saying in terms of hands off and out of people's lives, government out of the lives of people. Do you want government to have the ability to govern what women do with their bodies?
I want the states to figure it out. The people of each individual state to figure it out. Either way,
the state is still a form of government. So you want state government. So I'm just asking to be clear. Do you want state government to decide what women do with their bodies?
Yes, I want the states to figure it out. Let the states figure it out. I'm very much in favor of states' rights. I'm for very limited federal government intervention.
So, as far as you're concerned, if this is not an argument you're not saying you're for or against abortion. You're okay with whatever the states do. You just want the federal government out of it.
Correct. And that also includes completely defunding Planned Parenthood.
Okay. Well, so why does the government need to completely defund abortion if the funding that goes to Planned Parenthood it specifically is not of the role the money for Planned Parenthood clinics that don't really just clinics that women can go get checkups, men and women can go get condoms, So, do we want to get rid of everything Planned Parenthood does, or I think there's a balance to that because a lot of women go there
I
for
don't
their
want to get rid of
mammograms
Planned Parenthood. I don't want to get rid of Planned Parenthood at all. I just want Planned Parenthood to get off the government teat. Let Planned Parenthood go into the private sector. If people want to support it, they can write a check.
Okay. And so when people on public assistance, they do receive help from some clinic, hospital, because what happens is when there are not places like Planned Parenthood or clinics that will see low income patients, what happens is what we already see happening now. We still see it happening, but just imagine if you withdraw that medical support. Hospitals are going to be inundated with people coming in there with just everyday issues and they won't have anywhere else to go.
It's interesting.
So, I mean, we have to think about. Go ahead.
It was interesting. There was a really good Time magazine article. Matter of fact, let me pull it up here. Birth control and abortion pill requests have surged since Trump won the election. I'll post a link in the chat room for you. Hours after Donald Trump
StreamYard went out for me.
Oh, my fault. Sorry about that. Hours after Donald Trump was elected president for the second time, Dr. Clayton Alfonso had 2 messages from patients seeking to replace their IUDs. Over the next few days, 3 women inquired about getting their tubes tied. So this is a positive effect. Good. This will make women think long and hard before having a roll in the hay with some individual that under normal circumstances wouldn't be responsible. This will make them think long and hard about it.
Okay, so but let's just walk down that path a little. So women are the ones that need to practice more restraint and get their libidos in check.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what other policy would you like to see?
You think that's funny?
Yeah, I think it's hilarious.
Why do you think it's funny?
Because I just don't think that is something that, especially today in the society that we live in, that is going to happen on either side. I think people are going to have sex.
I just got finished. I'm not saying that people won't have sex. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that it will cause the ladies to think long and hard.
Pardon
the pun. Think long and hard about who they lay down with, and we're seeing the evidence. I just posted the link in the chat room. We're seeing the evidence right now that this is indeed the case.
We'll see. We will see. We know that. Before
the birth control sales have shot up over 400% since Donald Trump won re-election. 400%.
And here's the thing: we see a decrease in teen pregnancy is that issue's dead. I'm not saying there aren't any teens getting pregnant, but you look at the numbers, they're hell of a lot better. And so that being said, women are opting to have children later, and in a lot of cases now, not at all. I'm hearing a lot of the Gen Zs talking about, I don't want any kids.
Good.
So
good. So what we need to do is we need to get the Cynthia G's of the world to stop messing around with the.
Don't do that.
Big.
Don't do that. I'm gonna mute you. Like cut that out. Don't put that on there. Like, come on, man. Like, to be, be serious.
If we could get women like her to actually use. They wouldn't be out here talking about some beta male. Cool.
Let's not.
Big. Juicy.
Why bother? So, heaven help me. So besides abortion, so you laid that down as one of your issues that you were glad that Trump carried that the way that he has. What other policy would you like to see that you feel will have a beneficial impact on the Black community?
Well, like I said, lower taxes, which would have a knock-on effect on, lower taxes, getting the inflation down, making it possible we can lower rent and
Lower taxes for who?
lower taxes for everyone. Lower taxes
Well,
for
that's
everyone.
not going to work. Somebody has to pay the bills. So,
But they got the Department of Government Efficiency. We're going to be cutting out a lot of pork. Vivek Ramaswamy, Elon Musk, they're going to be cutting out a lot of pork. That's good. So we're doing that. Government waste, government wasteful spending in pork. We're going to get rid of that and get that out of the system. All that swine, get that out of the system, and then we can have lower rents, lower mortgages, because we'll be building more, we'll be drilling and fracking more, drill, baby, drill. We'll be having that. So what that means, that will result in lower energy costs, lower energy prices, this exorbitant inflation. Down. I did a presentation last year at the Black Manosphere Conclave in Atlanta. And last year, this year we were in Houston. Last year I did one, and I had said to the brothers that dating has gone up 55% in the past 3-4 years. That just shows you how far hoflation has risen. Hoflation is off. Yes, hoflation is off the chain.
What is oflation?
Hoflation, H-O-E, hoflation.
Wait a minute. Hoflation?
Yes.
Dating equals hoe activity?
Yes, because a lot of these women are whores.
What? Obsidian.
Yes.
Why would you say something like that?
Because it's true.
Nice. Big.
Can you please, seriously, do me a favor and don't play that on here? I really would appreciate that. Save that for your channel. I think that's more for your audience.
But it's true. Hopefully,
okay, but I got you. But just please, do that for me. And I would like to get back on topic here. So if a lot of the ladies, first of all, if men are dating hoes, who is the problem here?
Well, again, I'm not talking about hoes in themselves being a problem. I'm saying hoflation is a problem. Like I said, last year at the conclave in Atlanta, I showed the brothers how much dating has increased over the past, basically the Joe Biden presidency. The Joe Biden presidency has been solely responsible for the exorbitant rise in hoflation.
Okay, so you're not gonna. So if hoflation, you said hoflation is the problem, but you're not gonna say the hoes in themselves are a problem. You can't have it that
again. We want goods and services nice and cheap. We want cheap energy, lower taxes, cheap energy, cheap rent, cheap mortgage, cheap goods and services, and cheap hoes.
Why do you got to be so damn ridiculous? Why do you have to be so obnoxious? Because sometimes, because see, this is what you do, and this is what is really ignorant about some of the conversations that you all have. Now, on one hand, you want to talk about the destruction of the Black family, and you want to talk about family values and morals and morality, and then the next I turn around, you're screaming for Babylonian whores.
Well, isn't it true? Well, okay, you're a Bible reader, right? And particularly the Old Testament, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is it not true that the Old Testament has got nothing but whores, harlots, tarts, 304s, chicken head skeezers, Jezebel spirit?
I'm not doing this with you. The point I'm making, we're not doing that. We're going to stay right here. And we're going to talk about the conflict of interest that you have in promoting whoredom and then promoting family values.
I am not promoting whoredom. I am just simply saying that the rate of hoflation has gone off the rails.
If we're talking about men, and this leads me to the no Fugazi podcast,
Yes,
right?
no Fugazi. Yes, Cooley.
No
Yes,
Fugazi.
Yes.
So this is where he's having a problem, right? So when you have a conflict of interest, when he is truly conflicted, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, right? So on here, I'm red pill, but over here, I'm a family guy. Well, the family guy.
Did he ever say that he was not a family man? Did he ever say that he wasn't? I don't know. I don't listen to their podcast enough. I don't know.
If you look at let's say he didn't say that, but what he did say was that single mothers are for recreational use only.
Okay.
So that is
do you disagree with that?
Of course, I disagree with that. Why do you disagree? Because people are not for anybody's recreational use. People are not
NFL players are not for recreational use.
People are not things.
So National Basketball Association professional
basketball is a sport.
Use.
Basketball is a sport.
Is that not a recreational use?
The people playing basketball
are not recreational use.
They are not recreational.
Who are they playing for? They're playing for the recreation of the fans.
No, they are playing for money. But
they
are
playing for the recreation of recreational use. Yes.
You're just being obnoxious.
They're being recreationally used.
Oh my God. They're not being recreational use. That is a multi-million-dollar
Is Jennifer Love Hewitt for recreational use?
Multi-million-dollar industry that provides jobs.
Is Street for recreational use?
Organizations.
Is Whoopi Goldberg for recreational use?
Would you stop it?
They're actresses and actors, are they not?
No.
No. Whoopi Goldberg's not an actress.
No, she's not for recreational use.
Of course she is. What did you think she's making movies for?
Listen, get back. We're going back. You're not going to. You are not going to troll me to death tonight, Obsidian. Okay? You will not.
You
you will not do this. You will not. Now, back to the no Fugazi thing and the conflict of interest. Okay?
Yeah.
You can't say don't date single mothers. This is where your integrity comes on the line. They're for recreational use. And then we turn around and you're wifed up and impregnating a single mother.
Is he married?
You're telling other men not to do that. You're telling them we don't. You're telling them we don't marry. We don't date single mothers.
Is he married? Is he married to a single mom?
Are they married? I don't know if they're married. Hi, Nyla. Oh my God, come save me. I mean, really. I don't know if they're married or not. But the point is, he's creating children with this woman.
Well, hold on. So Cooley is with a single. I'm gonna make sure it's right. Is he with a woman that's already a single mom, or did he make a single mom, or what's the deal?
He's with a woman who's already a single mother.
So was he using her recreationally?
No, he's created a family with her. He has 2 other children. He has children with her. What are you talking about?
Well, he has. So I want to make sure I got this right. So he got with a woman who's a single mom.
Do you want me to play the video? Here, let me play the video because
yeah. Can you show the video up here? Put it up on the screen. I'm on StreamYard. Put it up on the screen so I can watch it, and then we can come back with it. If Nyla is listening, I'd love for her to join the conversation. She's more than welcome to do so. Been a long time. So, by the way, Nyla, check your email. I sent you an email earlier this morning, by the way. So
I'm just going to pull the video from your boy, Shay Duke Jackson.
Okay.
Get it again.
Yeah, I haven't been following all this because I've been, ensconced.
Hold on. That's great because you act like, you kill me how you just act like you don't, when it's convenient for you, you don't know stuff. You don't know what's going on. You don't understand.
Well, I mean, look, to be brutally frank, I don't keep up with the details of other men's lives like that.
Mm-hmm. But you keep up with women like you knew everything about Feminista Jones. I bet when you were following her, you knew what she ate for breakfast. Like, stop it.
I mean, she always advertises it up on her blog.
You know that, but well, these people are advertising too. Now here we go. We're gonna watch this video. I don't know what you just play too much. Here we go.
Good, everybody. It's your boy, Shay Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Liberty Junk. So, guys, I was busy thinking about tricking the other day. I wasn't really worried about y'all. I got my little YouTube check, so I was calling random ladies that I want to talk to see if they need their bills paid. So I wasn't worried about y'all, but you guys kept messaging me saying you wanted more videos about the Fugazi guy. And of course, I was trying to be done with it. Okay, guys, you know, I told you I got my check. It was a few big booties I wanted to call up, but y'all brought me back into this because y'all are petty. And they said, O'Shea, can you give us another video on the no Fugazi situation? And immediately I said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to deal with all of these guys who are so mad at me. Now, this is interesting with you black men. And I'm gonna call y'all out. If I were to be making multiple videos about Cynthia G, if I'm gonna make multiple about Martin, y'all are okay with that. But when y'all was over there jocking just pearly things, and so many of y'all wanted to clap those white cheeks over there, all y'all was mad at me. You guys were pissed off. Why are you still talking to her? Why are you still bothering her? So you jealous of her, O'Shea? Now listen to this. Now, how am I jealous when I'm still on here and she's gone? But I noticed that every time you guys have somebody that I'm calling out, as long as they are attached to a white lady that you guys find attractive, you guys will get out there and you guys will start barking at whoever the person is, which is me. And that's fine because I have some simps in my audience. But it's cool.
I just want to pause that right there and say that's one thing I did shout out. And I hope O'Shea doesn't mind me playing this video, but I did give him a shout out for that because I like that he had the integrity to call this guy out for basically being a hypocrite. And what happens to truth tellers in the space? And you know, I know a lot of people don't like Corey Holcomb, but he says it all the time. When you are a truth teller, people don't like it, and they don't like the truth. People will attack you and they will come after you if you start pedestals and they deify them. But let's see if he just gives a quick summary here of what happened with the no food case.
Cool. We're going to talk about a few of you, okay? And I want to go over some of these comments because this was insane. It was crazy. And you know, you had guys really talking real greasy. And I'll start with this brother here by the name of DeMarco Intuit. Now, this is a guy that I don't know personally, okay? But this is a guy who participates or has participated on my King Guy in the comment section for years. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar with my other platforms, I have two. One is the Pan African Dating Show.
Pause right there. And it's funny he's bringing this topic up because actually this was a topic that we're going to discuss. When does it go from content to crazy? Like, yeah. And I thought you would be perfect for the discussion because you know, when does doing content about what's trending and what people are talking about go from you covering to you harassing and bullying? Okay. You know, and agree that if you go to somebody's channel and you see multiple videos up about them every week, they're posting about this one person, that you could, but they could make the argument that you're harassing them. So it could be made, but let's get back to this.
Okay. I've helped many farmers get grants. I've done so many things.
This video, I'm gonna pause this because he doesn't get into giving you the story that we're trying to get you to. So, but I think it's interesting to see that he's had to do another conversation about the new no Fugazi guy, and I do think that here we go. I think. I hope this is one. Sheesh. Okay. Hopefully I got it this time.
About where y'all get y'all relationship / life advice from these guys on this internet, on these podcasts. Because yesterday I made a video about that Fugazi coolie dude or whatever, talking about being a top tier man. I always kind of knew dude was a little buddy.
He's right, you know.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson. Has changed You know, the red pill has changed many forms, but it's still kind of out there. You know, it's not the same guys, but different dudes come into the community. And a lot of guys use their business sense and their charm to make money off of it. And one of the guys who's doing extremely well right now is the No Fugazi podcast, ran by a guy by the name of Cooley. Now, I would see this dude, his Instagram reels are always off the chain. He's logical. You know, whenever he has females on there, he's like really shutting them down. And he doesn't really do it by really being disrespectful either.
What about you? Who's the prize?
I think women. But hear me out. For me, like my man, like he's my prize, right? But like a lot more people competed for me than him. Like women, we attract men easily.
So you said that you're the prize because a lot more people competed for you, meaning that you have more options.
Yes.
Got you. I would say that out of all those options that you had, you chose him. He's a prize.
Nope.
Don DeMarco. Look, think about this. He ain't have a lot of options. He just took what he can get. So who's to say if he had a whole lot of options, you maybe not even would have been his first option. Gotcha, bitch.
And whenever I see him on IG, I give him a like and be like,
He's right, you know.
I'm like, yeah, man, shout out to the brother. The brother is building up. Good to see somebody else out here kicking the game. And then I just do it, move it, and go back into watching my twerking videos. Booty clapping sounds. But last week, I did a collaboration with my good brother, Brandon Jamal. And we did a live stream on his channel. And somehow he brought up the No Fugazi podcast.
You know that other the No Fugazi podcast, the guy Cooley.
I think I've seen that dude before.
He's got like the braids on top with like the haircut going around the sides.
Yeah. I see he has like some viral moments on Instagram and stuff. He got some good things to say when I seen him.
Same. The most viral moments that I've seen from him were how he was talking about how he's high value because he's 6'4" and because he's black and because he makes over 6 figures. He didn't say about who he was as a person, but that's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But you know, whatever. I'm not here to shit on Nick because you know I like rap. I like sports. If you talking yo, I'm finna be like talk yo, my, you know. So he's telling these women that they don't qualify for a guy like him, and then he also says single moms are recreational use only. Man's wiped up a whole single mom of 2.
Oh, so he did get married.
Wait, he's married to single mom?
Not married, but like they're pregnant with their second child together, and she's a very nice white woman, you know. And I just like saying white woman like that for the chat. There's no racial innuendos behind that. I'm just kind of a clown. And they also make cringy interracial couple content together. It's so Mans is a walking hypocrite.
Now, as you can see, I had no idea what was going on. Then I got a DM from a very popular YouTuber about this guy also. And I had to look into some of this information because they were saying that this brother was in a relationship with a single mom. But I'm like, nah, especially how he talks about single moms. This can't be the truth.
As a single mom, if you choose a man that's hitting that pussy, he hitting them kids too. If he has the ability to be in between your soul gaps and hitting that pussy, he gonna hit little Day-Day when Day-Day acting up. If he providing and taking care of you, well, guess what? Why would a man take on all of that responsibility with no authority? That's slavery. So if you choose wisely on a guy that you choose to have sex with, that same guy should be able to discipline your kids. That's what I'm saying. He must embody some good characteristic traits to hit that pussy. If not, then that means that you value your pussy too low and you letting some rugged in it.
Okay, you heard that? What about this one?
As a single mom, you don't know what I had gone through. And sometimes we don't even choose to be a single mom. It's like,
well, let's pick one point by point. You do choose to be a single mom.
How?
A man can't have sex with you unless you grant access to sex. And not only that, how many times has a man broken up with you?
No. None. Zero.
So no men broke up with you.
Right.
How many men have you broken up with?
A little bit, a lot, what?
How many men have you broken up with?
It has been a mutual.
No. Listen. How many men have you broken up with? No. That's not the question. That's my point right there.
No, I didn't.
You choose the men to have sex with, and then you break up with them. This is why you're a single mom, because you are the problem, and you broke up.
You let him get it wrong. You didn't have second thoughts.
What you say, Obsidian?
No, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna skip that part where he's.
So when somebody was saying that, this is true, I'm like, nah, man, they got to be hating on the guy. So, all right, I see his position on single moms, and I've heard him say this before. Then I came to TikTok, and I was directed to a brother's channel by the name of IBN_arrogant. Now, this particular dude has the reputation of being like a dude that's really anti-red pill community, and he takes a side of kind of like the left, takes a side of women a lot. So, I see, a lot of dudes kind of clapping back at him when I found out who he was. But he is about to drop some serious information on this guy.
Fellas, this is why I tell y'all got to be careful about where y'all get y'all relationship/life advice from these guys on this internet, on these podcasts. And then I'll show you why.
Don't qualify for the top tier men, and that is the truth.
Do you believe you're a top tier man? By what standard?
I'm 6'4". Only about 8% of the entire world is 6'4". I make well over 100K a year, and I'm black at that. If you add that on,
that's why he said that. That's why he talked the way he talked. That's why he thinks he's a top tier man, because he's 6'4" and black. This is why he's the trinket. He's the fetish. But this is the dude that y'all follow, fellas. This is the rhetoric that y'all subscribe to from hypocrites. A black man playing stepdaddy to some white kids with a single mother who was a BBL Becky. Mind you, getting her knocked up because she's currently pregnant, not even married to her. They've been together since 2017 and has yet to put a ring on her finger. Looks like you're doing more than recreational use with her, buddy. Or maybe you're you still ain't married her, but you're giving her those mixed kids that she enjoys to make content with, though, right?
So again, it's still hard to believe, right? If you look at him in this picture with him, the white kid.
So there you go. I think that pretty much sums it up.
Okay.
So
the issue. So I just want to make sure I got this right. So the issue is him being with a white woman?
Obsidian, you can't be this obtuse.
No, I'm not, because no, wait a minute. They bringing up the fact that she's white. I didn't bring it up. They did.
Okay, they you can focus in on the race issue, but for most of the people talking about him, it's not even a race issue. They're basically. Let me finish. For O'Shea, though, I'm going to tell you why. He brought it up because if this was a black woman, and O'Shea makes this point, and I'm inclined to agree with him, this would not be acceptable. The outrage would be off the charts. If he was out here creating children with a black woman, if he was out here doing what he's doing with this white woman, if he did it with a black woman, everybody would be outraged. He would be excommunicated from the red pill community. Hey, Nyla, he would have been kicked out. And O'Shea's argument is the only reason why this is acceptable to black men is because she's a white woman. That's what he said.
I honestly couldn't care less, to tell you the truth. I'm just, you know what,
you
I think.
Always do that, but you know that is not the reality of the red pill.
I just think that I'll tell you the truth. Far too many guys. This is my problem with, and I'm surprised nobody. I'm talking about, when I say nobody, I mean black men. The light-skinned brother that was going in on him, O'Shea, and whoever else that's weighed in. I tell you the problem I have with Cooley. It's not any of this. It's not any of this. It's that when he was on, and I'm going to talk about this when I get on the air next week. It's that when he went on Ace Metaphor's show to talk about what constitutes a high-value man, he wasn't talking to Ace. he was talking to that woman. Now, let me be clear about this. I don't know who that woman is. The first time I've ever seen her. I don't know who she is. And I don't know a whole lot about Cooley. I've heard of Fugazi, but I don't follow them. But here's the thing. That sister was not wrong to respond the way that she did. And here's the reason why. Because Cooley, was talking to her instead of talking to Ace. See, high value men, top tier men, that's a male issue. Women have no say in the matter. That is something that is adjudicated among men. Men determine who the alphas are. Men determine who the top dogs are. That's a male thing. And the problem in Black America is far too many Black men are always running to mama, talking about mama may I, instead of dealing with each other. That's the issue I have with Cooley. Who he lays down with, who he has kids with, I could care less. My issue is clearly he's yet another example of brothers who didn't really listen to what Kevin was saying and just ran off half-cocked, which the sisters are right to point out. They're not wrong to point out that brothers just kind of run off half-cocked listening to Kevin. They kind of not really listening to Kevin. They're hearing what they want to hear. They're not wrong about that. Being a high-value man is something that other men determine, not women. That's the problem. And the fact that I'm the only brother with a microphone to point this out really tells you the problem with Black men. The problem with Black men ain't calling out each other's hypocrisy. The problem with Black men is we still don't understand how high value and top dog men are made. They're not made by women. They're made by other men. Okay.
Obsidian. That's and everything. We gotta I mean that was a real cute spin on what just happened here, because integrity does matter in the space, especially if you are trying to present yourselves as leaders. And what you are doing, and what the whole point of podcasts like that is what he's saying is, if you guys listen to me, I can lead you in the right direction. I am an example of what you should be. And when we pull the curtain back, the man behind the curtain is over here on Instagram wearing cupcake outfits with some woman and doing content with woman, but a single woman who he told these men was for recreational use only. Not only is he carrying on a relationship with her, he's creating children with her. Now, for me, it wouldn't matter if she was a Black or white woman, but for them, it's an issue because they're saying his behavior is only acceptable because she is white. Because if she was Black, he would be getting dragged. Just for me, also, I think the issue is, if he was with a white woman that was single, nobody would be saying anything at all. So the race is part of this too, in just the fact that if she were Black, everybody would be outraged.
Well, first of all, I want to say hi, Nyla. Hello, Nyla. It's been a while.
Hi. Hey, how you doing? I wanted to say hi to everybody, but I didn't want to just butt in because y'all are full throttle.
Yeah. You I didn't know you was over on Rumble. You're doing pretty well. We'll talk about that. We'll catch up in a little bit. But my
Nyla,
point
can you
is,
see the hypocrisy in this mess?
I got a list. I'll be perfectly honest. I only got the Cliff Notes, and when this stuff, someone sent me O'Shea's video, and I didn't get a chance to watch the videos because I find comment section more interesting. So but I haven't seen it, and I didn't even get a chance to see what you played. So tell me if I'm wrong, but this is what I've heard. This guy is supposed to be like one of the, the relationship gurus or whatever, maybe Red Pill or something to that effect. And he was anti-single mother.
Correct. They're for recreational use only.
Maybe anti-Black woman, or that could be just.
Now, I don't know about him being anti-Black.
Okay,
woman.
I don't know, because I know that sometimes that's like sometimes it's that conversation even is nuanced too, because I got called anti-Black woman today too. But yeah.
Wow, you have to tell us about that.
It's like, how do I get and one day I get called a Black male hater, and then literally 10 minutes later you hate Black women. I'm like, oh my God. So I feel like I'm doing well then. But so from what I gather in the comment section, people were mad at O'Shea because he called out some sort of hypocrisy where this guy was like, stay away from single mothers, they're the devil. And lo and behold, he's got a single mother with, as Obsidian would say, with a couple of weapons in tow.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh,
Hold on. So let me see. Now, according to this photograph, 1, 2, 3, 4. The brother got 4 weapons.
I can't. You know what's so funny? What was me and Taz was watching or talk? Oh, we were talking about the trophy wife the other day, and he didn't realize she had 5 kids, and he said, "What? And she got 5 weapons?" And I turned around, I was like, "It is too early in the morning for you to be channeling Mumia." Okay?
I see you starting to catch on. But yeah, but you know the thing with me
now he's
is,
starting to catch on. I caught that.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. The thing with me is with black men is like I don't mind black women doing this, you know, going in on Cooley because of real or perceived hypocrisy in his personal life. That's fine. The problem I have is black men doing it. Black men have really gone too far with this gossip stuff. And the problem I have with Cooley, again, he should have had that conversation. It should have just been, if the conversation was going to be what a top tier, which is another way of saying high value man is, fine. Then it should have been just him and Ace Metaphor, the 2 chairs, a mic, and it's just them going back and forth like Joe Rogan. And that's it. But I get it, because in Black America, and black women are not wrong to point this out, in Black America, you know, black women really are kind of in a very real sense a kind of the backbone of the black community, because a lot of black men look to black women for approval. So I wasn't mad at the sister when she tore him to shreds, because you went to her for approval and she said she didn't approve. Oh well, you should have had that conversation with Ace. But see, I get it. Doing that conversation with Ace would read to too many black men as gay. Because
wait a minute, who told him off? You know, I'm interested in the messy stuff. What happened?
Yeah, I want to see that video.
Yeah, it's on if you go to the Tonight's Conversation Instagram page, it's there. And yeah, and I talked to Matt. You know what? Go to my page, Mumia Obsidian Ali. It's right there.
You're on IG?
Yeah, and under my name. And
I think I was following you on IG. Let me see. Hang on.
Yeah, and you'll be able to see it, and you'll see my commentary on it. I think that the problem is here, and even all this extra again among the men. I'm gonna talk about this when I get on the air Monday. The problem that I have is black men missing the boat. The issue here isn't who he's sleeping with, who he making baby mom. That's all gossip stuff that women do. The issue is my man.
Gossip. It's a reality.
Don't nobody gossip more than men. Come on now.
And he is literally living contrary to what he is telling other men.
That's my point. My point is, that's exactly my point. My point is, black men gossip way too much. Instead of focusing, if you want to talk about what high value men do, that's fine. Yeah, we need to talk about that. We need to have that discussion among men. And that's not happening.
All right. Okay, so I can definitely see that. Now here's what I'm thinking though. You just said something about black men don't need black women's approval, right?
No. I said black men keep seeking in the case of Cooley. You haven't seen the clip, but you will when you go.
Okay, I got it. You guys want to put it in the stream?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me see, because I don't know how to share somebody else's page. Hang on a second. What I do? Is it the same method? Yeah. Okay. Let me. Okay. Ren, I guess you got to put it in the stream. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Everything's fine.
Yeah, Ren, you got to bring it into the stream.
Is Ren there? Oh, there she is.
Okay, there she goes. Okay.
And you see my my commentary on the side. So go right ahead.
Okay, let me read this stuff you said first. Let me see.
Sorry about that.
This snippet, courtesy of tonight's conversation, has been making the rounds. Just as I'm putting the finishes touches on my book about Kevin Samuels, it proves that. Oh, let me get my glasses. I done got old, y'all. It proves just how little. It proves just how. It just proves how little attention far too many Black men paid to what Kevin said. High value or top tier men have nothing to do with what women say, do, or think. It is a matter that is decided and adjudicated by men and men alone. Only in the Black community, where Black men simply cannot do anything without Black women's permission or approval. You know what? Can such a conversation even take place in the first place? The brother Cooley and Ace should have had a one-on-one conversation, Joe Rogan style, and had the conversation about who and what high value top tier men are, how they move, etc. But I get why it all happened the way that it did. Black women are Ace's target market, and he knows what they want to hear. As for Cooley, the lesson is that women have no say in the matter when it comes to who the top dogs of the world actually are, and only Black men keep seeking out what they think when their opinion simply does not matter. Shaking my head. You mean to tell me that you think that the actual high value men of society, the ones that actually inflate the numbers the most, aren't trying to impress women or don't want the approval? Don't care about the approval.
That's exactly the problem, Nyla. You hit the nail right on the head. They're so in the Black community. They are
No.
I'm not talking about the Black community. I'm talking about on the world stage. You believe that the white males who dominate this high value bracket, right? When they like almost set the bar for what you guys are talking about?
Well, let's start with Donald Trump. Do you think Donald Trump is trying to impress women?
Yes, he likes to grab them by the
I think that he's, if I'm being honest, stop it, Rand. I think that there was a time when he was. I do think that ages out, though, because it ages out for women. Because I think it's natural for women to want to impress men, and for men to try to impress women. But it comes a time where that shit ages out.
Okay.
Where it's like, no, I'm not trying to impress nobody. I'm trying to impress myself, and I got 5 years to live. So you know what I'm saying? Nobody comes to a point where you don't give a damn. Seriously. You don't think so? Like, you do like because just really think like in your 20s and maybe your 30s, maybe you want to impress someone and you want to appeal to them or whatever. But typically, I think if you're healthy minded and you've done what you're supposed to do to get where you need to go, by 45, 50, you're not interested. You don't have to impress people. Right. It's, take me as I am. So I don't know, but let me watch this clip because I already see you're going to be on some mess.
Is the truth.
Do you believe you're a top tier man? By what standard?
I'm 6'4", only about 8% of the entire world is 6'4". I make well over 100K a year, and I'm Black. Modern day women just don't qualify for the top tier men, and that is the truth.
Do you believe you're a top tier man? By what standard?
I'm 6'4", only about 8% of the entire world is 6'4". I make well over 100K a year, and I'm Black. Modern day women just don't qualify for the top tier men, and that is the truth.
Do you believe you're a top tier?
Okay, so that's
the whole clip shows her going in on him, and I guess you have to find that on tonight's conversation.
I think I saw that.
I don't have any problem with what she said at all, because Cooley brought that on himself. He brought that on himself.
Mm-hmm. I've only seen people stop at that part. I didn't get to see the rest of the conversation.
No, I need to find it because she I think, hey, I didn't know you was up here, babe. So I think I was
Hey,
playing this
Taz.
when he got up one morning because I don't know. I think he just closed the door because he don't be liking to listen to what I'm listening to. But here's my thing from what I gather from what she said or whatever. Like, you mean to tell me this dude didn't embarrass you? Not just that he was asking for her approval, which I don't think he was asking for her approval. I think that he assumed that he had her approval. My whole problem with the high value man conversation is I think it should go exactly like you said. That is, men are determining that, right? So those men should date each other, right? Because what men, because who are you trying to mate, marry, date, or connect with, men or women? So if that's what's valuable to another man, I don't have no say in that, and I don't really give a damn. However, if you are talking about what's valuable to a woman, it's going to look a little bit different, and sometimes the money is not you're not going to have enough money to be this silly. This is an ignorance. This is a silly ass Negro. But no, I'm serious. Based on what I saw,
I'm with you all the way.
Based on what I saw him say and what he's about as deep as Malibu Barbie's teacup. And like he says, he's around here with these braids in his hair. Like the nerve of this Negro.
That part.
Like, but yeah, he probably should. I agree that men should be deciding if it's their thing, the high value man conversation, then high value man to a man is not what it looks like to a woman, and I'm perfectly fine with that.
Right. Yeah. What's really important? What's going on, Taz? What's really important is that
on mute.
The lady has the woman that we're seeing on the screen, or for that matter, any woman, has every right to their preferences in a mate. That's not the issue. But what often gets conflated, and again, I'm taking this back to Cooley, because him and by extension Ace, those are the people I blame here, not her. And the reason why is they keep trying to bring, basically cross lanes. A high value man endeavor is its own lane. Now, if you want to appeal to the ladies, they have their own criteria as well. They should. But what often happens is that the two get conflated, especially in Black America. It's like a car collision. Instead of, I'm saying we need to keep the spheres distinct. Ladies have a right to their preference, whatever that preference is. What I'm not even going to all the different things. We all know that. Ladies have a right to their preferences. But what a lot of Black men do is they think that because they've achieved something in this sphere with the brothers that it automatically translates over to the sisters, and this clip shows that's not true.
See, this is what happens when you go from being the voice of the everyday brother to being the voice of the everyday bougie, because you just keep playing and jumping in and out, because there was a time when this would be this would be meat to a red pill man, because this guy, if this was the old red pill insidious, this is a blue pill simp cosplaying a red pill man.
Okay,
this
so
is red pill cosplay, and so the red pill community should be outraged, because this guy is an interloper. He is an imposter. What happened?
All right. On what grounds is he an imposter? No. Okay. So what? Yeah. Your thing is about the whole, white woman, baby mama, and all the rest of it. My thing is,
it wouldn't matter if she was a Black baby mama. He's on here doing couple.
My thing is,
cupcaking it up.
My thing is that the conversation about, and I'm going to use his words, top tier men, that should have been had with the brothers. Period. Now, if you want to talk about how to appeal to the ladies, and that's something. See, a lot of brothers don't want to accept that when it comes to what ladies like, that's something that ladies get to determine. You don't have any say in the matter. You don't. That's something ladies get to decide.
That's fine too. But I'm asking you about red pill content.
Yeah.
And what it was. And so are you telling me? So, I mean, because if it's changed, I mean, just tell me. Like, I understand that movements change, they transform. So if you're telling me
you're asking me about the red pill movement,
if this is not blue pill simp behavior, doing couples channels and dressing up in in Halloween costumes like a bear and her dressed up looking like a whole human panda out here, if that's not simping, and what is it now? Because like
I guess
I
that would
really
be. I
must
guess
have
that would
missed
be
a
what
lot.
I heard. I heard one brother referred to it as gorilla simping. I guess that would be what it is.
Right. I mean, because what
Or,
happened to
or
King
grizzly
Kong
bear simping.
Simp, soft shoe simp, and all these things? Like, do you see what I'm saying, Nyla?
Now, does this brother Cooley, does he sell anything? I mean, he just does videos. I don't know. I don't follow him.
For me, and this is where I want to talk to you about. One of my questions to you was, how do you feel about the transformation of the space? Because I do think that, like, and it's kind of like how Taz, he would better say it than I, because I watched him do these conversations on the transformation of hip hop and how the previous generation is responsible for the culture that hip hop has turned into, and how it's not hip hop anymore, or whatever we could say, drill music, right?
Okay.
The Red Pill, Willie. So I guess you could say, who did it start? Willie Pete, then on to Tommy, and so then you guys were the first iteration of the Red Pill, and then we watched what you call the second wave. And so is this the third or the fourth wave? I don't know what wave you all are on, but I guess this wave is, number one, it's acceptable for women to be in the space. In this iteration of the manosphere, it's acceptable for women to say that they are in the manosphere and that they are manosphere content creators. Because I do, the time that I came in, I guess as it was on its way out, it was not okay for a woman to sit up and say that she was doing Red Pill content until she became a pearly thing.
There's always been black women in the black manosphere. There's always been.
But they were not allowed to have those prominent positions. It was okay if you were sitting on the sidelines like Kendra D. But now Kendra D is basically, I would say, she is leading the old manosphere. Like the women run the manosphere now. They, like, if you want to look for real, genuine Red Pill content, you got to go over to the Crimson Cure.
I don't know about that. I don't agree with that.
Nobody's doing the original Red Pill content anymore.
I don't know if I agree with that.
You all have been usurped, and you guys accuse me of trying to take over the message.
I don't know if I agree with that because you still got a lot of guys. I mean, I don't follow them as actively as much as I used to because I'm over on Rumble and I'm busy with the conclave, writing books.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still a lot of guys that are still doing stuff. But black women have always been a part of the black manosphere. You just got finished mentioning Kendra D, and she was there almost from day one.
Obsidian, I think you're being a bit dishonest because you're acting like they didn't give you hell for the collaborations you did with us.
Well, just because they gave me hell rather for that doesn't mean that they gave me hell for all the collab. I did a lot of collaborations with black women in the space. I didn't get hell for all of them.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, yeah, if she's speaking correctly, if she's saying what they want to hear, but even then they'd be in the chat saying that she's lying, or they'd be like, this is bitch babble. So I'm just saying I've watched the transformation of this space, and I guess now I'm watching the deconstructing of Obsidian into the everyday voice of the voice of the everyday bougie.
What is bougie about what I'm saying? I'm just curious. What is bougie?
Well, because you went from the blue collar brother to now this is white collar Obsidian. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that.
What is white collar about what I'm saying?
You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
How you have moved from this is the way, because let's just say you went from it's okay to wear overalls and suspenders and dickies to we need to be suited and booted.
Right, but what does that have to do with Cooley?
My point is that the manosphere, there was a certain mentality, there was a certain level of energy that was with it, and there was a certain level of certain behavior that was expected to go with it, and you are acting like that. I'm just making that up. You act as if you guys weren't on here calling married men compromised when they were
I never called them that. Besides, I have heard some black men do that. I thought it was ridiculous, but yeah, I have heard some black men do that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And actually, you know, and if we're really honest, you were kind of like they called you the Godfather, but you also were kind of a bit, you know, you were one of the less extreme of the group.
Well, I'm just one of the purveyors of Babylonian whores. That's all.
True, this is true. You love whores and Babylonian whores at that.
Yes.
And hedonism. You seem to think that that's something, and I don't see how any of those.
I'm quite partial to Sumerian whores as well.
Okay. I don't see how.
Shame.
I don't see how that gels with, but you see how conflicted you all are. That's why I say that's why the Bible says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, and that's why the manosphere failed. It was a failed project because you all were double-minded and
How was it a failed project when we just got finished doing our biggest conclave ever in Houston only a few months ago?
Why it failed? Because where number one, the big three, you guys don't even talk to each other. You can't even talk to each other.
Well, we've gone on to bigger and better things. I mean, isn't that a good thing? Bigger and better things that are outside of the manosphere. I mean, it's an expansion of the black manosphere. It's expanding.
Not because we even have O'Shea who says he's no longer part of the manosphere. Angry Man's no longer part of the manosphere.
What does he comment on? He comments on much of it, not all.
It don't matter what
much of it pertains to the black manosphere, does it not?
It's the celebrity junk.
Yes,
you know,
that's true.
So,
well, a lot of his content, I mean, we just got finished watching, 2 videos he's done at least of black manosphere content. So there's that. Angry Man has moved on to bigger and better things. I think it's wonderful. I'm very happy for him. He's moved on to bigger and better things. I've moved on to bigger and better things. Like I said, we just got finished doing our biggest conclave ever in Houston at the Four Seasons. We're gearing up for another big conclave in Miami next year. So
I love you're just like a typical politician. I love that you stick to your
politician. What are you talking about? I'm directly answering your claims.
The manosphere. Because Obsidian, but how many people came to the conclave? Let's start
400. We have our biggest turnout yet, 400.
Okay, and and this was all men. These were all men.
Correct.
And these are all men who are part of the manosphere. So
Correct.
Tell me, what does this?
And they're not all incels.
That's right.
They're not all incels.
All incels. That's correct.
So tell us, since it didn't die, you have 400 strong. It just doesn't look like it used to. So who are the leaders of this manosphere, this iteration of the manosphere? Well, obviously I'm out of touch.
The leaders are the Black Manosphere Conclave. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, name them.
Name them? Give you individual names?
No, I mean the name of the leaders. You know how it was the big three. So are there more than 3 now? The leaders in the
space, you got new players coming in. El Wapo, Richie Mack Zoom to Thailand, Andre Love crossing borders, just Dennis Sperling Esquire. They were all at the conclave, all of them.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, you go up on my Instagram, you'll see pictures of a lot of these guys.
And these were speakers at the conclave.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I would love an opportunity to interview the conclave.
Yeah, you can do that.
The leading group. I would love to have a conversation, a round table, and have you guys just basically lay out what your agenda is. Because what does the Black Manosphere look like now? Because when I was first introduced to it, there was no conclave, and you guys didn't have this. So what does this mean? What does this progression into doing these type of events mean for the space?
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. It's fantastic.
Dark said that Sperling said he was put out of the manosphere.
Well, he certainly was there in Houston with us. I got a picture of him getting me in a big bear hug on my Instagram. You can see it for yourself.
Oh Lord, Dennis Sperling.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you know what I've noticed is that now the manosphere, if I go to dusty spaces to be nosy and laugh at people, seriously, they've kind of romanticized the manosphere, and like it's this mystical place. So like the women are like, yeah, the men in the manosphere, they were this man is from the manosphere and he did such and such. It's like it's where all the scary men reside and all the women are scared and stuff like that. And then you have these people, because a lot, people are new or whatever, so they don't know what the manosphere really is and who the players are. So everybody now is claiming to be in the manosphere, and I was a big person in the manosphere, and I'm this and I'm that, and then I don't know who these hoes are, but they all were going against the manosphere. They were all fighting. Everybody says that I was going against the manosphere and the manosphere hated me, and so everybody has kind of like rewritten the history on who the people are and who the big people were and all this kind of stuff. And I even heard I was in the manosphere. I'm like, but I could see why maybe if you don't really know any better that you might make that, because we did collaborate. You know what I'm saying? And it was what's so sad about it though? If things could have been, things really could have worked, even though we fundamentally disagreed on a lot of stuff. But that shit got really ugly. It got really, really ugly and really, really nasty. But it was kind of a cool collab. You know what I mean? Like when the rumbles were going on, Obsidian would come over there and argue with us. We would go over there and argue with him. Go over to your channel. The chat would be lit. It was really a fun time. And I don't know. I want to say right after the big three is when it was downhill from there. And then I think that the April 1st stuff did the manosphere deciding to participate in that kind of is what, because then it was, you know what I'm saying, it just got real fugazi, no pun.
I saw what you did there. Yeah. So I mean, I thought, personally, like I said, I've been being over on Rumble, you kind of get into a whole nother ecosystem, I guess. So I've been over there and working with the conclave and working on books. This is my second book this year that I've written. I've actually written the first book this year, was the Toxic Femininity book. And I was really, in a fever pitch with that. I banged out 472 pages in 9 months. So yeah, I was wrapped up with that, then doing the conclave. And then as soon as I got back home from the conclave, I got started on the book on Kevin. So I just been so really out of the loop. But as far as I'm concerned,
I mean, I get that you're saying you're busy and stuff, because I feel like, just hearing this, like, I know I've been out of the loop and I haven't tapped into the space. So I feel like I need to tap in just, curiosity to see what, who is who now, because it looks totally different than it did originally.
Yeah. But that's a good thing. I think change is good.
Is it better?
Is it better? In some ways.
I don't think. Okay, go ahead. What way?
Well, I mean, there's more exposure of the space. It's I see it spreading. I spend a lot of time over on Clubhouse when I can, anyway. Chatter, I see it spreading over there. Fan base, I see it spreading over there. So it's spreading. It started on YouTube, but I've seen over the past 8-9 years it going beyond YouTube. So now it's spread to Facebook, Instagram, Clubhouse, Chatter, Rumble. So I see it spreading. Now, is it better? In some ways, it is better. In some ways, but in some ways, not so much, which is the reason why we're talking about Cooley. So yeah.
I think this is a good point, because it had me thinking about the manosphere. Just follow me in relation to the LGBTQ community.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say what the comparison, just I'm talking about how the power of having a movement, and people will talk about ideas, and Big J sent me that message saying, why are you talking to him? He's part of a hate group. Putting a blanket over, for example, the Taliban did not make the ideology go away. So I always felt like the conversations needed to be had, because if you do have true opposition and you have, you know.
Is that me?
You have to make that
You
known
dropped.
and
You
make
just
your.
dropped out, Ren. You just dropped out for a second.
Okay. Am I back?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I would say you have to make your voice heard. You have to present opposition, because if you don't and you allow people to carry the whole discussion and make it all about them, you people get left behind and left out, or things get twisted and turned in a way that is nonsensical. Because you think about it, not that LGBT community didn't have legitimate concerns and gripes and
Yeah, she dropped out.
Yeah.
justice for them. But look at what you have women.
Your audio went out again, so you must have been lying. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah, StreamYard doesn't like me for some reason.
Yeah,
My bars keep going down.
do try. I really like Ecamm, but I do sometimes use it in conjunction with StreamYard. You might want to try it.
Do you use Mac?
have-
Do you use Mac?
Yes, that's all I have is Mac.
Right. You use.
I just want to get this point off. My point off is, if you just
Yes.
don't actually have the conversations with each other, and you just allow one side to shape the argument, you get put in a position to where you have women today, like, you have to deny that biology exists when you just let one side control the narrative to that extreme.
Right.
And I don't think that has benefited women in particular, to allow that to have happened, to where Ketanji Brown could, when asked what is a woman, she has to say, I'm not a biologist. So it's like, we got to pretend like we don't know the difference between men and women, boys and girls, or what male and female mean, because everything is fluid. So, and I talk about that. So if everything is fluid, your morals are fluid. Everything is fluid. Nothing matters. There are no values, because we can get this way with murder. It's fluid. Sometimes it's murder, sometimes it's not. And I'm just saying,
Yeah.
And so I think it's important to have the conversation with people who we don't agree with, because that's how you push. Go ahead.
No, I was saying that, I think that's how we entered the space. Like, we wanted to. Don't y'all remember, the very first panel that we had? It was literally, I didn't really know anybody or whatever, but because I don't know if Obsidian knows this, but we were kind of doing the panels, but we were doing it on a conference call thing, and we all disagreed all day. But we would, I would be at the salon, Taz would be at work, Ren would be at work, and we would literally be on the line debating topics all day and these were people that we didn't really know in real life. We knew them from social media, and we argued, we fought, we blocked each other, unblocked each other, and it was just, you know what I mean? It was just, Ren was the notorious blocker, but yeah, we all fell out. Everybody would fall, but it wasn't like this venom for, you didn't have to agree. It's like we would, you know what I mean? But it's to the point, I don't even want to talk to people hardly anymore, because it's like, if you don't agree with them, it's like they treat you like you have some weird ulterior motive.
Yeah.
If you're not, it's not fun anymore. And Rian, you said that Big J just messaged you.
No, this was on that first interview I did with Obsidian. Big J put on there. He asked me, why did I speak to Obsidian, and this is my point.
See, that's what I mean. That's why I want nothing to do with nigga YouTube, because when I hop on,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, baby.
I just want to say, because I'm looking at that 10-year trajectory, right? Because Obsidian made the point about how the manosphere rhetoric is spreading, and it has, so much so that it's in the lexicon, to where you can run into regular young
even.
Huh?
I hear children talking manosphere.
Yes, that's young teenage guys talking with making Tommy Sotomayor talking points, and so that's why I say it is important. So when you ask why am I talking to him, this is why, because women can't. And so it might be an extreme analogy for some people, but a woman can't even say she's a woman without it being offensive. So you're going to let this rhetoric transform to where it's going to become common. It's going to be part of the nomenclature. And you saying anything against it, like just say we continue on this trajectory. If this truly is a red pill manosphere presidency, think about that. Think about how that's going to shape society.
Yeah.
And
but
how we
you know what?
Mhm.
You're kind of like at this point. I think it's what is the expression? The cart is left
the
barn or whatever. Because
Yeah.
like this is literally the culture now. If you
Yeah.
think about how people behave politically right now, you cannot have an opposing political view without being insulted on the other side. Well, there's one side that will definitely insult you for having a political view outside of theirs.
Yeah.
And it turns into a very venomous, nasty thing. You can't have a principled position on anything. You have to take the majority position, or people feel really comfortable with trying to either isolate you or get you to or try to force you to isolate someone else. So even like with Big J saying to you, why do you have Obsidian there? I had not been like in the Black YouTube algorithm where people were putting my name in titles for a long time until I went on Obsidian's last year. I believe it was either early this year or last year when it was before everything had went down. And Big J made a video, I guess, or somebody was it Big J? Someone made a video. So I think it was on one of those channels where they just kind of clip everybody's stuff and make a big thing about whatever was said or whatever. And so in the comments, why is she talking to Obsidian? Oh, the grift is real. And it's like it's just weird how they all have this thing, and that's what it's been about. That's what it was about when we came into the space. You need to isolate Nyla and Taz because Nyla and Ren and Taz are trying to take over the manosphere. I have all the receipts. I'm trying to put together a documentary on everything that has happened. But like people, your chat room, Obsidian, was used like as some sort of like guerrilla marketing situation. No cap. They like it was like every other comment it started off Taz killed somebody.
Oh my God.
They were saying. Then that's where the Taz beats Nyla came. And then that's where Grinch came to say, I still have the recording where Grinch was like, we need to get together and get rid of Taz because Taz is ruining the manosphere. Taz is doing this to the manosphere. Nyla and Ren, they are infiltrating and they're doing all this kind of stuff, all these isolation tactics over a conversation on social media. That's the culture, though.
Yeah,
that's the culture. And like, now I already know that my name is going to be in a whole bunch of dusty ass titles. Ever since Taz did the interview over here come these weird ass Negroes over in my comment section talking about what is it now? They're mad about our house.
Why are they mad about your house?
Obsidian, because me and Taz never our strategy was very wrong. We thought sometimes I thought mainly if people thought that they were better than us, that they would maybe leave us alone. You know what I mean? If you think that we live in a van and that we're eating a can of corn for dinner, maybe you'll just leave us alone because we're just some poor, simple, lowly Negroes. But it had the opposite. Like humility is not always the best thing. So now that they see where we live, they see how we live and stuff like that. So now it's for 2 years they said we lived in an Airbnb. Okay. Then it was we lived in this and all this kind of stuff. And so now, that's her grandmother's house because my grandmother and my mother are elderly, needed some help, so we moved them here. And so because we got the pool out back and Taz has it's regular to me. Ren said it's not regular, but it's just a regular place. And so now they're upset about it. Like they literally made it about our house.
They don't have a swimming pool. Wow. They got they might have one of those little plastic pools, but most people don't have pools, So maybe the pool offends them, and you shouldn't have a pool. You live in the mystery machine. I mean, what are you doing?
A mystery machine.
But see, the pool thing on the West Coast is a regular middle class thing. It's not. It doesn't mean we don't live in a mansion. I won't deny that it's a nice house, you know, and it is a nice amenity to have hot tubs and pools and stuff like that. But it's a regular West Coast thing. We don't stick out.
Right. I mean, I don't know. People got way too much time on their hands.
Yeah, and one of the common things that I noticed on here is that whenever people, the first thing they say about people is either that they are broke, they're homeless, and why are these things that we would be mocking people for when people are literally living in their cars?
Yeah.
We're in the middle of a housing crisis. Corporations and foreign entities are buying our farms, they're buying our houses. A lot of times now when you're in the market, like as a matter of fact, the house that I sold earlier a few months ago, it was purchased by an LLC. You are the average citizen.
They're pushing people out of home ownership now.
Yeah, when you
they are pushing people out.
Yeah, chances are you're going to be in a war with
the corporation. They have like you see like where a lot of times when you are looking to rent or something like that, you see a common one is the Invitation Homes place or whatever. These places, and it's even here in Las Vegas, they own, from what I understand, they might own about 30% of the real estate here. So they're trying to get it to where you don't have a choice but to rent. Like as soon as something goes on the market, they're buying it, they're refurbishing it, and they're putting it back out there. And so one may argue, well, that's good. People are, going to get access to, nicer houses because they're taking care of them or whatever, but they're literally trying to cut the average person out. Like, you know how people say that the middle class is under attack or whatever, but like they recorded a record number of working families living in their cars, working families, people with jobs. And I just like, even thinking about the last troll that came to my comments, like he was like, I heard Taz work at Home Depot. I'm like, he don't, but if he did, he got to get drugged for having a job now. Like y'all for years, you know what I'm saying? For years, y'all say this man don't have an income, and then we're sitting here. What's that, honey?
Yeah, they're saying he's a bum. They're homeless, and then so now having a job is bad. So I can't win.
So I'm like, why are you insulting people that work at Home Depot? Like it's just like y'all hate us that it's weird. It's weird.
It's strange. Yeah. I what did y'all guys do to these people? I mean, what did you do to set them off?
We came into the space, and honestly, I don't think that we recognized how other people viewed what happened when we came in. I don't think you think about it, we came in doing numbers out the gate, with, larger YouTubers on the platform. Mm-hmm. Everybody was interviewing me. Everybody wanted to be on the platform or whatever. I did not realize that people were just not regular, like regular people, that they were actually trying to destroy or cite. I did not realize how evil people were about that, or how much it really meant, or how much value it had. I didn't know it was a big deal. Like now thinking back, sure, you come in and nobody knows you, you go live and it's 500 people in your chat. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
I didn't know that then. I didn't know that it was a point of contention with people because of, the lightning speed and the fact that we were promoting help. Let's help everybody grow. Let's do this. Like people hated that shit. And I'm not saying that we were 100% innocent, because when you get on my nerves, I'm gonna get on yours too.
Right.
So I mean, I done cussed some people out really, really bad, but I'm a defensive player. So if you don't bother me, I ain't gonna bother you.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Wow.
But then people didn't like people got mad for you coming over. People were mad because I still got the emails. If you I'm leaving your Patreon if Obsidian comes over. I'm leaving your Patreon if Cynthia comes over again. Ren is a mammy when they didn't know that me and Taz were married. If you keep letting that guy come over there, he's gonna destroy your platform. Why do you keep letting that nigga on your channel? Like it was like everybody wanted to control my channel.
Wow, this is wild. So how did you wind up? Because I did hear that you and Taz got removed from YouTube. Is that true?
No, we're here.
Okay. So now Ren told me that you was over on Rumble. I went and looked you up and followed you over there. You're doing pretty well over there. What happens? Did you just stop doing videos over there, or what happened?
I need to get back over there. I did stop. I guess I could. Rumble is people don't really like the platform, I think, especially during the election season, which I guess when I look at it, I guess I was doing pretty good on Rumble.
Yeah, you're doing really good over there.
Yeah, when I look at the views of like a lot of people that are similar, you know, I guess I don't know, but it's like people don't really like the app, and I think a lot of the conservative information that was coming through was kind of off-putting. Yeah.
Well,
my sound went out. I didn't hear that last part. Now you say you think the conservative people what?
The conservative advertisements and stuff that that turned a lot of people off. The app wasn't as user friendly, and I mean they were coming over. I think I said I was going to start multi-streaming from them and then putting more of the controversial content over there. Because to be honest, I would prefer to be on Rumble. Because I never felt freer. I can talk my shit. I can say what it is. I can talk about this stuff about this gender situation. I can talk about politics from whatever perspective I want to talk about it from, and not have to worry about it. Like there's so much stuff that you can say and be fine to say on Rumble that you can't say on YouTube.
Yeah, Rim was telling me a few things. I'm glad we're talking about this now, Nyla. So you're 100% correct. Chris Pavlovsky, I'm not going to assume anything here. Chris Pavlovsky started Rumble, and he actually started it back like a decade ago, like 2013. He started it. I wish if the one thing that I regret is that I didn't know about Rumble then, because if I'd have known about it, I would have came there first before you. So he's out of Toronto. He's a Canadian, and he got his start working for Microsoft. But he then went and founded Rumble because he didn't like all of the censorship going on. So he founded Rumble. he saw all this going on back then. He founded Rumble, and as the president of Rumble, his thing is nobody can be canceled on this platform. Now, unless you do like, child porn, stuff like that. But having a different perspective, no, you can't be canceled. You cannot be removed or canceled or driven away or anything like that. You can't be, it can't happen. So that's the reason why it's really popular among conservatives, because a lot of conservatives are of the view that they will get canceled or ran off of Facebook or
It's true. It's true. Right. We experienced that. I can show you. Just it's really shameful because they come out and they will actually validate the things that I have said. But if you say it too early, like for instance, I was talking about Hunter Biden's laptop in 2020. I think I was live for like maybe 7 minutes and hadn't even got into it. The video gets removed and I get a strike for bullying and harassment.
There you go.
And all I'm talking about is the contents of the laptop and the briefcase and stuff like that. Same thing with talking about the panini of 2020. If you talk about that stuff or because I'm even being careful with my wording here because we're on YouTube. Yeah. But the things that they validated about Fauci in the news over the last 6 to 9 months, I was saying in 2020, and it got me in trouble.
Oh yeah.
So like it's a shame. Like some people are getting demonetized simply for having holistic meds advertised on their channels.
Which is what they do over on Rumble. Again, we're gonna be real careful because we're on YouTube and I don't want to get run in trouble. But what I will say is this: that you can't be canceled on Rumble. The other thing too is money. So you actually make more money on Rumble than you do on YouTube. You get paid more. You get more of a share. They call it Rumble Rants. So when you go live on YouTube and somebody hit you up in the chat, that's a super chat. Over on Rumble, they call it the
rant.
Rumble rant.
Yeah.
And it stays up for as long. So each dollar represents a minute that it stays up. So if somebody puts $1, it stays up 1 minute. They put up $100, it stays up 100 minutes. That sort of thing. The other thing is that you actually get paid more for doing pre-recorded videos than you do for YouTube. And I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but you can cash out as many times as you want on Rumble.
I saw that, and I think I tried it the first day or whatever, but I forgot what happened because I made it my first day on Rumble because I still don't have it down packed or whatever. I made like I think $200 the first day, and I was like, "What? You're kidding me!" So you know how you don't trust a new app or whatever. So I hit the cash out. It didn't happen, and something ended up happening with my pay, whatever. But they ended up straighten it out or whatever. But I don't know. It just
all right. So here's the deal. So that you know. So you get monetized immediately.
Right. I know that.
You're instantly monetized. The other thing is the way it's I don't know because you've been on the platform now 3-4 years. I just got there this year. So what happens when you cash out? It takes 8 to 14 business days for them to actually pay you. And it comes through PayPal. And as long as you got $50 in the account, you can cash out.
They sent me a check my first couple of pay. They sent me checks at first.
Right. So now it's through PayPal. My guess is that it's going to be they're going to keep tweaking it and getting it better and stuff like that. There's a lot of future in Rumble. The future is in Rumble. Now that Trump is back in office and he's got strong ties with Rumble, he's got his own social media outfit, Truth Social. All of this stuff is the future. YouTube's days are numbered, believe it or not. Now I know that sounds crazy.
It's hard to believe. That's hard to believe.
Yeah, his days are numbered. Yeah, they've already Google, the parent company of YouTube, has already been under fire in the courts, brought by Chris Pavlovsky. They were using their Google search engine to suppress Rumble videos, Rumble content, and he took them to court. And they were found in violation, an antitrust violation. That's an antitrust violation. So they're about to be broken up in a minute. You can look all this up in the news. Plus, Rumble is publicly traded. It's on the NASDAQ. You can buy stock in it.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I'm
Go to sleep. I'm gonna go back there and see if he's asleep because he ain't came off mute. He literally popped on, and he's he's probably recording a video.
Yeah. Taz will love a Rumble. It's
he's on there. Taz is on there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he love it. Yeah. It's the future. And
on over there.
It's a good bet that you're over there because you said the same thing that I was saying to Ren, that when I do get back over on YouTube, it'll be different from what I did the first time. All my raw stuff is gonna stay on Rumble. I'll just post up relatively pedestrian stuff on YouTube and mainly just stick to collaborations, interviews, stuff like that. So.
You gotta because YouTube is at this point definitely like the bigger bag or whatever, and I think it's because it's easier. That's what people use and all that kind of stuff, and a lot of people are not comfortable with all the advertisements for conservative politics and stuff like that. So that's a bit of a issue for some, but I think that people are going to start to get tired of the heavy censorship. It's getting really bad, but it's all social media. Like even posting on Instagram, they're asking me, "Are you sure you want to say this?" And all I said was, "That sounds dumb." And so you mean that's bullying if I say that something sounds dumb? That's bullying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's terrible.
Yeah.
But what's crazy is your cousins are in agreement with this heavy level of censorship. People are dumb as shit. Because it's like, you don't see that making it to where, like, even how like people celebrate stuff happening to people's channels. You don't realize that you're celebrating heavy censorship.
Oh yeah.
Just because you don't like what I said, or you don't like me personally. So people's personal issues, you just really think about it. It's insane. I literally just got a comment from somebody saying that she can't wait to figure out how to stop me from making a living. Like, you know what I mean? And that's exactly why I'm done with pro black conversations. I'm done. I ain't got a pro black bone in my body because of Negroes.
Wow.
Because of that, I have never seen anybody try their best to circumvent someone, especially if you think this is all I have, if you think this is my livelihood, if you think I'm gonna be sleeping in the car tomorrow, if you do this and you black, you know what I'm saying? Like what, like that, the level of evil of Negroes, I ain't got time.
I would say it's the idea of cancel culture. Like people now, and this is like our American culture. Period. We don't just want to see people. We want to see people destroy her, finish her.
It started when Trump got in office. That's when cancel culture really became mainstream. And it's really it really reminds me somewhat of McCarthyism a lot of times, like just the way that people move, and the shit is weird to me that nobody. I'm not saying that nobody sees it, but a lot of people don't realize how they're literally playing into oppression. They're literally playing into everything that they say that somebody else is trying to do to us. That's what your people are doing to each other.
Yeah, because you always hear people talk about, well, this is Orwellian. No, we are living in an Orwellian age now, and it's just progressively getting worse. So if you want to talk about Big Brother and people and the state talking points, sponsoring and removing books, we're seeing it right now, telling you what you can read and what you can watch, and watching people change history in real time. Going from slavery to migrant workers or immigrant workers, you know what I mean? Like, we're seeing these things happen right now. And I do think that when you talk about the cruelty and the severity, the consequences that people want to see people pay just because they don't like their opinion, you think about people trying to get people evicted from their homes, people trying to get people fired from their job.
Yeah, people they're calling CPS on, like, it's a thing now. Everybody does it. I'm gonna get your kids taken from you. I'm gonna do this.
So they say basically swatting people.
Yeah, that is literally, that's an accepted part of a large part of people's online antics. That's what they do. Like, I'm like, why would you go that far because you don't like what somebody said? You want them to lose their kids. You're calling. I have seen people call people's landlords on live streams and try and harass the landlord until they got someone kicked out. I've seen people calling I know this sounds hood boogerish, but the Section 8 people.
Right.
I've seen them calling them to try and get someone's elderly mother evicted. Like, that's you know what I'm saying? That's what Black folks do on here.
Wow.
That's what they do on here. And it's really disgusting. I just don't understand why they, I don't understand why it's cool. I
just think people are doing it across the board because it's just a thing to do. Like, let's see if we can get rid of them. And then you even have some hosts, like, you look up some of the bigger shows, like, they're literally doing, like, you even look at like Brother Richie on Dr. Richie on Young Turks TV. They literally call for people to identify people. Hey, let's find out who this guy is. Because guess what? What is the purpose of finding out who these people are? Now, of course, some of the people that they're trying to identify, those people actually do need to be identified and dealt with, right? Because a lot of these people were engaged in criminal activity, doing, assaults and things of that nature. Now, in instances like that where people are being racially bigoted and attacking people, yeah, we need to identify them so they can be held accountable.
Attacking people, no, that even has to be qualified. Racially bigoted, now that has to be qualified now, because like it's getting ridiculous. Everything is not a racist thing. Like, sometimes when people are just assholes, okay, it's not illegal to be an asshole.
No, it's not, and it's not racist to be an asshole. I mean, so now I'm not talking about in those cases. These are clear cases because I mean, like people are just ignorant now. So I just, that's why I say I do think we have to be careful with what we're asking for. If we're asking for people to never work again, like I get people need to suffer consequences, but I come from a time when you grow up, you were sorry to see or hear that someone got fired from a job. We've gone to that to let's get them fired. And that is part of the Donald Trump ethos. You're fired, and so people, you just have to be careful. So now everybody needs to be fired. Nobody can make a mistake. Nobody deserves a second chance. Like you just think about the times that you may need some compassion and a second chance because you had a lapse in judgment. You made a mistake. I wasn't thinking this through and I did this. I'm sorry.
Humans don't make mistakes. But
okay.
I remember when they were sitting over here having discussions about me and Taz's channel, they're gonna have to move out that house now. They're gonna have to, they're gonna have to do this. And even Mangela over there talking about some yeah, I know they homeless. I made sure they was like people are crazy.
Made sure you was homeless?
That girl said, I'm making sure nobody supports them and all their financial support is gone. I'm gonna make sure they're gonna be homeless.
Oh boy.
Like where's the Christianity in that? Like,
Saved now, honey. She's saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost now.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, hallelujah.
Girl, bye.
I know I've been changed. Good Lordy. People get changed.
That's deep.
That's what I should do. I should come on here and just do a whole bunch of bullshit and then but it's okay, guys. I found Jesus.
Wow.
That's all you have to do is find Jesus after you do a whole bunch of bullshit. Especially if you do it to me and Taz, it's pretty much accepted.
Wow. This is insane.
Yeah, I think we have to be careful of the seeds that we plant because you reap what you sow. So if you think like if you are becoming, because I call them hate cults, because that's basically what you guys do. You build, you take a person and you just build a cult around them and you worship this deity and then you tear it down and I don't know, and you run around with it, you put it on your head, your mask. I mean, they just do all manner of weird things in this space. It's weird.
They build a whole community based on hating someone or a concept or whatever. And I like the whole pushback thing. You should be able to say, hey, I don't like this, you're wrong, or you sound stupid because of ABC.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's totally fine because that's just life or whatever. But people can't stand to be disagreed with. People view disagreement as disrespect.
For me, what I noticed, like, not that people weren't weird fans of celebrities and Michael Jackson and stuff like that, but when it became weird to the point where people became obsessed, weirdly and oddly obsessed with regular people, for me, it started with Kanika Jenkins, because I felt like the things that I saw people doing were very unfamiliar to me. I'd never.
That started the it's okay to online cyber stalk, and we're the internet investigators, so we can do this. That you're right. It started with Kanika Jenkins, and wow, I didn't even think about that.
Who is Tamika Jenkins?
Kanika Jenkins is the young lady that was in Chicago, from Chicago, that walked into the freezer inside of the hotel and passed away.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The circumstances, they her mother was awarded $2 million. I think it was last year or whatever. That case still is really, really strange. But what happened with Kanika Jenkins, a lot of people, it reminds them of the Shankella Robinson reminds them of that because nobody did any time for it. But it's obvious that something was happening or whatever. But people started harassing her mother. It was one of those stories that people latched onto and got a lot of popularity. And because it seemed like the information kind of ran out.
Yeah.
So people started inventing stuff. And so they started harassing her mother about how come she has no tombstone. You had your daughter killed. You had her sacrificed. It's pretty bad. Like that was one of the most disgusting. You remember that, don't you, Ren? Because we used to be, when we would get off work, be talking about some of that stuff that was going on. They were going to her mom's job and they were going to the girl's grave site and demanding a headstone. And I was trying to explain that you do realize that they have to give the ground time to settle, and you can't just like it was bad when they blame her mom and then they blame her sister, and then they before even AI was a thing, they were editing videos to make things look like stuff was there that wasn't, and it's bad. But they still have a cult following, the Kanika Jenkins people. Ironically, Rand, do you know that most of our trolls were from the Kanika Jenkins sector?
It makes sense.
It makes sense, doesn't it? How they just consistently they just never go away. They're from the Kanika Jenkins. They were all in that Kanika Jenkins stuff. And they picked me to decide she's the next one that we're going to follow everywhere.
Because not just that, so then it was like, so I just like, for me, just for my observations, like the Kanika Jenkins thing was weird. When I saw the thing that one of the, like, what's her name, the YouTuber that everybody hated, got her evicted from her house, and all, and with her kids, they didn't care that these women have. Even I didn't even care for her myself. I thought she did too much and she was messy. But I don't think that a woman with her children needs to be evicted just because I don't like the things that she says and does on YouTube, because she was having an affair with a married man. That was a lot of people's justification for the what turned into it. Because if you think about it, when you're doing content about somebody every day, you're calling their place of employment, you're calling their landlords and stuff, because you don't want them to have a place to lay their head. You are going to harass everybody everywhere this person goes. That's really some extremism. That's some extreme hate. And so that's why I feel like people have to be careful where does it go from content to crazy, because we got to remember that we're dealing with a group of people who are extremists. Like, this generation are extremists. And when you set sights on somebody, you can end up fueling a hate cult or something that is spiraling out of control to where you can literally put somebody's life in danger because you sicked your audience on them. And some people become so fixated and obsessed with these people. I'm going to fix her because you know what? She's not right. She's not quite right. She doesn't deserve to have it. Just gets worse and worse. And then you start to watch people justify some of the most egregious behavior and commit some of the most atrocious acts, because what happens is these people, they no longer become human. They are things. They are other.
That's true. I've seen that happen with quite a few people. But I think that people justify it, again, like you said, because it's something that they say or they do, or their rhetoric or whatever. I mean, I've gotten offended by people, but I don't necessarily want anything bad to happen to them just because I'm offended. I mean, do I want to see some people get their just due? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But do I want to orchestrate something? I mean, only against the people that did shit to me. But like, I don't have that out for anybody. And I feel like people get exactly what they have coming anyway.
They do. You don't even have to do anything. All you have to do is just sit still and watch, because ultimately they do it to themselves. Like, people who don't think that word is real, you reap what you sow. That's why I don't sit up and plot and plan on people and I hope this happens to you, because that very thing will come your way. That energy that because you are directing that energy somewhere, it's gonna bounce back, baby. You gonna get it's coming full circle.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Well, listen. This has been wonderful. We got to do this again sometime. Now, check your email. I sent you an email early this morning. Yeah. Check your email. It might have wound up in spam or something. But in any event, yeah, we got to get together and do this again. Give Taz my warm regards. I got to get out of here. I got to get something to eat, man. My stomach is growling.
I'm here.
Hey, what's going on, man? A long time no hear. Yeah, man. Everything's been good. How you been?
I'm good, bro. I can't complain, man. Shit, everything good as far as I'm concerned, man. I came when I came on, y'all was talking about a lot of the older shit that I don't even discuss a lot of that shit for real. So a lot of that shit happened. It is what it is. So I try to stay out of it because when you start talking about it and you naming names, I don't want to hear my name for nothing. And so I decided to stay a lot away from a lot of them conversations now. But yeah, last time we talked about was like last year, I think on Daryl. So no, we good, bro. We good.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna get ready to get up on out here. Ren, you know how to get a hold of me. Now I check your email. Hope to hear from all of you again real soon. We got to do this again, maybe next week.
Definitely.
All right. Now.
Thanks for stopping in.
Peace.
And thanks for joining me, guys, because I do think we do have to. I will just say this when I asked the question because Big J challenged me on talking to Obsidian, like why, and if because the gender war is raging on, people like us are fighting this good fight, and why are you talking to them? And it's like I really believe that you have to get your voice out here, and it matters, even if you are just like that, you'll be in the minority, just like people who were in the beginning when 9/11 happened. Those little few voices that were saying, hey, wait a minute, this is unethical. Look, later on, they were proven right, but in that moment, they had to stand alone. And sometimes that's what it looks like. When you believe in something and you're telling the truth, you're going to stand alone sometimes. So yeah, I just do the content that I feel like matters.
I'm gonna say most of the time you're gonna end up standing alone.
What you say?
I said most of the time you'll end up standing alone.
You'll get called something, a mammy, a simp, I could just, if we just ran down the names that people have had for people on this panel and in the space that try to tell the truth. Ultimately, although I feel like a lot of lessons were learned for me personally, I definitely learned a lot about myself and about how to do content. And I would definitely say if I would get anybody new to YouTube any advice, I would not say don't collaborate, but I would say keep business. Don't talk about your personal life with these people. Just like they tell us in real estate now, anytime you go to a house, assume you're being recorded. Anytime you talk to anybody in these spaces, online, offline, and even in your place of business, assume you're being recorded, because this is the world that we live in now. Everything is content. And even little people who don't even have anything, just for one viral moment, they'll use you as content. So
forever.
So I would just say, just be careful and watch the company that you keep. Watch who you're talking to, because a lot of people, everybody laughing and smiling ain't happy. That and that's not to make you paranoid, but it's just a reality that just assume these calls are monitored for quality assurance. Thanks for y'all. Got any final words?
No, I don't. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for stopping in. Shalom, y'all. Have a good night.
All righty.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm.